what's up? Hey guys, what's up? It's Colton and Lindsay here with the Devi Live, where I interview epic people doing epic stuff. And I've started to interview some more epic people inside of my live local market. So we're going to interview an agent. Her name is Devi from a company called Nielsen Homes. She's a new construction agent, extremely successful. And I thought it'd be really cool to learn a little bit from her how the new construction side works, right? And really, if you're an existing agent or if you're a buyer, if you're a seller, what is it that we need from these new agent gals and guys? So let me see if I can bring her on here. Just give me a second if I can do it. Hey Debbie, so it's not letting me bring you on. So what I need you to do at the bottom of the screen, there's like a little video camera. I need you to click on that video camera and I need you to request to come on. Because right now, I can't bring you on, it's not letting me. So let's see if we can try that real quick. So as you guys are hopping on, make sure to put in the comments down below whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, and also where you're from. Love to hear about that. So Debbie, if that works. This is Debbie here. She works with Nielsen Homes. Super awesome. I pretty much know her virtually, right? I don't think I've ever met you in 3D, at least maybe once, right? I don't even know if I have. Have I ever met you in real life one time or just 3D or 2D?
Oh gosh, maybe just once.
Yeah, so it was obviously a memorable time because we can remember it, right? So share with these guys in 60 seconds, 90 seconds, your background and how you got to where you're at in new construction and why new construction. Okay,
so been in sales my entire career. Mostly, I'm telling you, like in 2008, before that I was a loan officer, and then 2008, of course, was rough. So I went to car sales, did that for a while. And let me tell you, the best salespeople are car salespeople. They're awesome. They don't really deserve a bad rep, but they're super well trained and they're awesome. And then decided in about, 2014 to get my license and get out of that industry. And it's been awesome. Like, chose new construction because the opportunity presented itself. So it wasn't, I don't know, it was just a good choice, and had a really great mentor in new construction. The sales manager at the time, so Claire Larson, awesome. She really taught me what I need to do to be successful. And I've just been able to align myself with people who will mentor along the way. And it's been awesome.
Cool. Awesome. So you said, did you used to do mortgages? Did I hear you right? In 2000?
Yeah, I started when I was 19 doing mortgages.
Okay, so what year did you get into mortgages and what year did you get out of mortgages?
I think it was 2001 when I got in and 2008 when I got out.
So you rode the wave up until the wave crashed then. Okay.
Yep.
Then where did you go after 2008? What did you get into?
Car sales.
Car sales. Where did you sell cars at?
So Young Automotive Group in Layton.
Okay. And what was the number one thing that you took away from car sales as a salesperson?
Oh man, you've got to be persistent in everything. Like, if you're not chasing the next deal, you're just not going to make any money. You're going to starve.
So is that the same thing in new construction, or is it a little different in new construction real estate?
It's a little bit similar. I mean, I feel like in sales, it's the only industry where you're earning what you're worth. So if you're not putting in the work, you won't cut it.
Well, you're earning what you're worth if you're not putting in the work then, right?
Right.
So let's talk new construction. You got in 2014. How many homes a year does your guys' company build? Quite a bit, right?
Yeah, so I just left with Nielsen, and they were doing about 250. And then now I'm at Henry Walker. And
I didn't realize you were at Henry Walker. I'm telling everyone you're at Nielsen freaking Homes, and you're over at Henry Walker Homes. Okay.
Yes, I made that switch about a month ago.
Wow, dude, I had no idea. So now it is just announced. So Henry Walker is really just getting going again after they had sold the company to Oakwood Homes, correct?
Right, yep.
Okay, cool. So tell us why the shift, why the opportunity? Let's hear about this. I had no idea.
Okay, so I don't know if you know, my husband actually works for Henry Walker. He's a badass sales agent here. And as Henry Walker is kind of expanding into new communities, the opportunity to kind of work alongside with him and really just own the market, how could you say no? And honestly, he is the best.
I'm going to have to go fix our live stream now, because I think I even put Nielsen Homes in there. Yep, I did. I'm going to have to fix it. So we're going to change that to Henry Walker. So he's been with Henry Walker for a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah, about 5 years, I think.
Okay, cool. So where's Henry Walker's communities right now?
So right now we are in 2 Kaysville locations. The one that everyone knows about is Parkwood.
Yep.
Then they've got Crestwood in Kaysville. We've got one in Syracuse called Grayson. We've got Race Creek in South Weber. And we've got one left in North Salt Lake, Eaglewood Village. And then Taylor. We've got some lots, horse property there.
In Taylor?
Yeah.
Like Taylor, like West Weber County Taylor?
Yeah.
What subdivision is that? Subdivision is that in Taylor?
Yeah, Gallup Bend.
Oh, where's that at?
So you're just west of like 2400 and just kind of mosey on out.
Okay.
One lot, so they can build there with Henry Walker, or you can just pick your own builder. So it's up to them.
Does Henry Walker own those lots, or who owns those lots?
They own them.
Okay, cool. What's the price point for those homes over there?
Well, the lots start at about 100 to 150, depending on the lot. And then the price point, you're about 415 and up if you wanted to have Henry Walker build the home.
Can you build a house for less than $400,000 anywhere anymore?
No, not really. Sadly, I mean, you can, but that's a huge problem actually of affordability. So
Yeah.
we really need to have more cities and city planners understanding that we need some more high density, because where's it all going to go? Because we can't, effectively build that way. And we need people to pay attention in the cities not to raise impact fees and things like that. It's a huge, a cluster right now.
What kind of cluster is that? Go ahead and elaborate.
A cluster fuck, Colton.
Yes. Hey, so let's talk about why do existing agents need you guys, new construction agents, right? Because it is a little different for sure. It's a different type of dance, but why do we need you guys?
We need each other. So I don't know why or where this has all come about that we have to not be friendly, because we really do. Like most of my business, about 83% is realtor outside agent referral. And I like it that way. I want to be able to do a good job. So other agents will, have confidence and bring me their buyers. It works beautifully that way. And then while the market is, prime for building right now, it's not always going to be that way.
Yeah.
So it's going to shift again, where I'm going to be, relying on those relationships that I built to help, keep me going too.
So when you say it's prime for building right now, what do you mean by that?
Well, as
I know
those that control the listings control the market. Building is huge. The builders actually have the majority of, the new construction. Oh, obviously new construction, but with as many people that are moving into the area, we need to have new homes, and new homes come from builders.
So right now what you're saying is, in a nutshell, new construction companies dominate the inventory right now. They have the inventory for the demand. And so let's talk about this. What's the advantage of a consumer working directly with, let's say, me and my company, and then coming to work with you versus just going straight to you? Is there a benefit, or would you prefer them just to go to you directly?
No, actually, I prefer them to have an agent and be referred to me, because the price is the price, whether they have representation or not. And they need to remember, I represent the builder. While the buyer is still my customer, I represent the builder. They need to have representation too. So I hope that they call you, and then you have built a relationship with me and bring them on over.
So I appreciate that you say that, right? Like, I think the consumer is be better if they understood this. Like, a buyer comes in, you represent Henry Walker Homes, right?
Yes.
Not that you don't want to do fair service for them, but at the end of the day, your job is to sell Henry Walker products, to increase top line, to increase the revenue. And at the same time, it's not your job to necessarily babysit, even though it might feel like it sometimes, some of your buyers, right? So
right.
How does Henry Walker or most new construction companies feel about this? Do they want to cut out the realtor? Do they want to bring the realtor in? What is your experience with that?
So the builders that I've always worked with embrace realtors. Now, I can't say that's always the same for other builders, but that's been my experience, and that's how I've built my business, and my success is based upon that strictly. So I know that we get a lot of buyers that come in and they think that they might get an incentive by saying, oh, no, I don't have an agent. And I ask, well, who's listing your house then? You know, they're like, oh, we don't know if we're going to use them. So buyers are somehow trained to think that they need to not disclose that they're being represented. And we do a good job, I think, of trying to flush that out. But man, I think you see a lot of buyers that think that they're willing to forego the relationship of the good hard work that their realtor did in selling their home to save a buck, but we don't reward that.
Yeah. So it's funny because I before Mike Hall passed away, I was really good friends with Mike Hall, and a lot of people that I used to work with before we would go to Castle Creek, they'd say, hey, I went to so-and-so builder, and they're like, if we don't use a realtor, then we save some money, right? And I loved how Mike would always squash that. He'd hop on the phone and be like, listen, you come to Castle Creek, whether you work with me directly or with Colton, it's the same cost, right? So I love that Henry Walker does that. I love that you respect that, because we're all in this together, right? Like, we're all in this to make money together. It's not this competition, it's this collaboration thing. So let's talk about, I've always been curious to, because I've never done a ton of new construction, always if I brought someone to another company, never been on the other side where you're at, right? How is the dance with the consumer on that end? Because like for me, I can go meet with a customer. I can sign a listing contract today. By Monday, it's up for sale, right? What's the difference with the process on your side on when you start with the customer to finish? How long does that work, and what does that look like?
Man, it's like a short-term marriage. So they come in, and my job is to figure out what that need really is, because there's obviously some sort of dissatisfaction with their current situation. So I need to really sit down and figure out what that is and provide a solution. So if I do my job, I'm able to do that. And then, of course, I have to set the proper expectation too, because building a home is so stressful. People think it's going to be super fun, and it is. There's a large part of it that really is, but there's a lot where things are guaranteed to go wrong. And if I don't set that expectation that, you know what, we might paint your bedroom purple. Not because we wanted to and we were looking for ways to screw up, but there's so many people, about 200 people from contract to our subcontractors that are looking at paperwork. And guess what? People make mistakes all the time. Yep. That's the only guarantee. So I need to let them know that small mistake will be taken care of. Don't fly off the handle. Calm down. It'll be okay. Because oftentimes those stresses are magnified because they're living in the basement of their in-laws' home. Yeah. No one wants to be there. So what's small becomes enormous.
Yeah. What are some of those key things that a consumer would want to be aware of, and even realtors want to be aware of during the new construction process that probably is going to be a little bit of a challenge that they need to work through, or could be a challenge?
I think they need to understand that you probably don't want to push the construction or go out and tell the project manager, do this, do this, do this, get done quicker. I mean, do you really want your home to be done quickly at the expense of done correctly? You know, and don't, sometimes people tend to become Google experts. They've Googled how to build a home. Yes. And now because they Googled it, they want to be able to dictate to everyone how it's done. Yeah. Well, the reverse is true. If we went into, an engineer and said, hey, let me tell you how to do your job, he'd probably be pissed. So just be patient. We're going to work through it with you. And, by the end of the day, when you have your beautiful home, it's going to be exactly what you wanted, exactly what the contract said. Just be a little patient.
So be patient. So that's the number one thing with the new construction.
I would say for sure.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, it's such a big thing. And then going through that and waiting while you're in your in-laws basement or whatever, it's like stressful. Moving is stressful already. And then putting that on your shoulders, it's even more stressful, right?
Exactly.
So one of the things that I've always noticed with people that want to build new construction, and maybe you can give some feedback on this, is they tend to not really think through the process of putting in the yard, right? And how much that costs. So what would some advice be for realtors and even, you know, consumers as they're going into looking at new construction and realizing, hey, I've got to take care of this cost as well? What would your feedback be on that?
Oh gosh. So I can only give my personal experience. When Derek and I built our first home, we really thought this is going to be great. We're going to have this, you know, half-acre, beautiful home and this great landscaping, and we're going to do it ourselves and we're going to save some money. You know what we found out? We hate yard work. We don't want to have to come up with those types of plans. So I think if you really enjoy yard work, you can have some fun. Do contact an expert to help you out. Plan for that. At least, you know, look in your HOA or CCNRs if it's applicable. You usually probably have a time frame to get your front yard in, typically 6 months to a year, depending on the community. But just be prepared. I mean, if you can, have some money set aside. When we built our second home, we had a little bit more experience. So we knew before we built, if we didn't have the money to have it completely landscaped, we weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot of undertaking. But that's Derek and I, because we don't like landscaping at all. Some people really get their, excited about it. Not us.
Not me. I hate it. Like, you'll never catch me doing it, ever.
Mm-mm.
No, you'll see Mauricio.
No.
Mauricio, if anyone needs a referral, Mauricio is your go-to guy. He's who does my landscaping. So what's the budget? Like, if you're going to have, like, let's say Buse Landscaping or another company like that come in and do it, what's a good budget to save for that versus if you're going to do it on your own? Average. I mean, I'm sure you can get crazy with it.
You know, I'm going to say I truly don't have a good answer for that, because by the time someone gets to that phase, I'm out of the picture. I know that with our landscaping in the first home, we probably, I don't know, Derek, what did we put in?
I'd say plan on 25 to 50 for a half acre.
Oh, Derek's got some good numbers. He's saying.
So I think you should plan on.
This is my
Derek,
second.
come on in here, Derek.
Hey!
There he is.
I think you should plan on, for a half acre, plan on 25 to 50 grand. Half of that is labor. So if you're going to do it yourself, you can save half the money. Am I not in all the way? You do it yourself, you can save half the money, but it's a lot of painful work that nobody wants to do. But if you have a half acre and you want some cool stuff, you want a fire pit, you want a patio with some stamped concrete, you just got to plan on 50 grand. A quarter acre is going to be half that. But half the costs really are labor. Labor is the biggest part of landscaping, as most people know. It's the part we don't want to do, soft hands. And so, but it is an expense. I mean, 5% is a good number in today's market for most of the houses that our buyers are dealing with in the $500,000 range.
Cool. Oh, and is that going to include like a fence or grass, sprinkler system, some rocks? Like, what is a good idea that 50 grand will get you?
Yeah, if you don't have extreme terrain, I mean, 50 grand's a lot of money. That includes some rocks. It would include a fence, 25 if you're okay without a fence and you have a pretty flat yard. I know a lot of people in this neighborhood in Kaysville, they have between a third and a half an acre, and they've spent between 20 and 40,000.
Yeah, Ricky right there, she posted. I actually helped her build her house. She's one of my great friends, but she's just said that she spent about 30 grand, and she did it all by herself. And her yard's great, but I know that it was a pain in the ass for them too.
Go visit Ricky and see what $30,000 buys.
And then another 12 grand for the fence as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you guys need an amazing dude that does a mow strip, his name is Alejandro. I'm telling you, he does it for a third of the cost of everyone else that bid when I was doing fence. It was crazy. So I have a half acre in West Haven, and I'm kind of like in one of those half cul-de-sacs. So I've got 4 different main sides I had to fence, and he did all those sides for like $1,800. Everyone else bid me $4,400 just for the freaking mow strip. So if you need a guy, let me know.
One thing I would say about landscaping is get 3 bids. We see it all the time where you'll have somebody who gets a bid for $25,000, gets a bid for $35,000, and a bid for $40,000. So spend $500, have a landscape architect come draw what you want, and then send that out to bid to 3 different companies.
And you guys have those referrals for a landscape architect? For them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Great. There was a one comment on here that I noticed. Carlos said, Devi looks hot today. So if you guys want to support that, give some thumbs up. We'd love to support the hotness today. Cool. Awesome. So let's talk about, so you're with them, what, 6 months, 8 months? How long from start to finish?
Gosh, it depends. Every builder is a little different, man. We're about, from start contract to move-in date, we're about 8 months.
So from the time that not from the time they meet with you, but get a contract signed to the time they move in is about 8 months. So let's break that timeline down. The first, month or two is getting the plans finished and getting the building permit?
Oh, I wish it were that fast. No. So that first month, every builder is going to be a smidgen different, but basically you're not going to be digging for about maybe 3 to 4 months from contract.
Wow. So then
there's so much shit that has to go through. I mean, you've got your design and, Henry Walker and even Nielsen, they're a little bit different because they actually allow you to have some time to choose your, design features. A lot of the other builders make you choose everything in one day. And that's super stressful. And Henry Walker and Nielsen, they allow you to usually have about a month to go in and make those decisions. So we do add that to our time frame, but I mean, I think that's to the buyer's benefit, so they know exactly what they're getting and they're happy with it when they know.
And so then after 3 to 4 months, they get there, they start digging. Construction's another, 4 to 5 months?
We're about 120 to 130 days, depending on the project manager. We've got some pretty badass ones here that really just can kick it out.
Cool. Awesome. So let's talk about, I'd always be curious because last year we saw rates go up, right? What happens with that customer that got their contract in July, but their house wasn't done till 8 months later, February or whatever, and rates went up from, what were they, 4 to 4.5%. How does that affect that person, or what does the consumer need to worry about with that?
So, we actually have a couple of preferred lenders, and honestly, all of the preferred lenders, they understand the market, and so they will, when they pre-qualify someone, they'll usually pre-qualify them at a 0.5% higher than the current going rate, just as a precaution of what the future may bring.
Okay, so one of the suggestions you're saying is you're going to build new construction, get approved for a 0.5 point more, plan on it being that, and then when it turns out less, then be celebrating. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
I love it. That's fantastic. Cool. So what can realtors do to help you even more? Like what can we do to work with new construction agents in a better way?
I think as long as we recognize that we're on the same team, honestly, we need to work together because when we show a united front, and I understand I represent the builder and they'll represent the buyer, but we still need to show a united front and make sure that the buyer feels confident in what they're doing because it is super stressful, and anytime that there's any discord, they're going to second guess what they're doing.
Yeah. So one of those things, what I hear you say is let's help manage the state of emotion through the process so that when shit does go wrong, because it will go wrong,
because it will,
that we can move through it easily instead of all up in arms, right? Cool.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So let's talk one more thing. How do you focus? You said 83% of your business comes from other realtors. Is that right? Did I quote that number right?
Yes.
So what do you do to network with other realtors? Because I think that's really important for whether you're new construction or existing agents, for us to learn on how can we improve our networking skills. So what do you do to stay in touch with those realtors?
So it's when I build my marketing plan every year, I always have a realtor portion in there. And a huge, again, when we talk about mentors, when I got into the business, Claire Larson told me, she says, you need to make sure that you are the go-to new construction agent. And she taught me, she says, you need to get involved. So I've done that. I've gotten involved with the Board of Realtors and the Women's Council. And honestly, what that has brought to me has far exceeded anything I ever even imagined. And that's beyond business. Like, I love that, I'm always thought of first, and I try to help too. So if, another realtor asks me, about a project and maybe I don't have something there, I want to make sure I know who does and refer them out to that particular builder. Because I feel like if I can help it any way I can, I will. I want to be able to support those other realtors' businesses as well. So if there's, say, I have someone that comes in and wants to build with Henry Walker and they need to sell their home, guess what I have? A referral. You know, so I'll try to refer that out. I've done that a couple times, and to show that I care, you know, and it's usually been reciprocated, and it's been awesome.
Cool. Awesome. So there you have it. What you got to be able to do is to be the person of choice. When anyone thinks new construction, they think Devi, right? So what are some key ways besides going to women's council? What else do you do to just be in front of people and make sure people think your name in new construction?
So another part of that is I try to do a lot on social media. I'm not as badass as you.
You're pretty badass. You brought out the man, what was it, the glory hole video?
Oh, yeah.
I can't compete with the glory hole video. How many of you guys saw her glory hole video? That was fantastic.
Oh, I always try to drop something in there to see who catches it, because I just giggle like a 12-year-old little boy. So
I did too. I thought it was hilarious.
I think you're the only one that had the balls enough to comment, but I was laughing the whole time.
So social media is big for you then, it sounds like.
It is. And just being authentic, being who you are. Like when I shoot videos, I shoot with one shot. I don't give a shit if I make a mistake. It's on there, because I'm going to make a mistake if you were in front of me.
Yeah.
So I might as well just put it out there.
So I have a question for Derek. Is Derek still there?
Yeah.
Does he market with the men's council of realtors to get referrals like you do the women's council of realtors?
Is there a men's council, Dave?
I wish there was. In fact, note to self, note to you, sounds like we got some work ahead of us that we need to start.
Yeah, I was just wondering, why is there not a men's council of realtors, right? Like
there needs to be.
Hey, but didn't you have your own men's mastermind or something? Women couldn't be a part.
Yeah, but that's different. That people need to be a part of that, right? You don't have to pay to be a part of the women's council, do you? Is that a cost?
Well, you pay $190 a year and you get free lunches.
So it's like you get some lunches, right? You're buying lunches, right? People pay you $10,000 a year for that mastermind. It's a little different than $190, right? So we're gonna start it. Me and Derek, connect with me. I want to have 100 of you guys in here, and we're gonna meet, and we're gonna have some. I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be manly for sure. Absolutely.
Coming summer 2018, men's council.
Summer 2018, first meeting, Top Golf. That's what we're gonna do.
That's right.
Yeah,
see you there.
Figured it out. Cool. So Debbie, how can people connect with you guys to either ask questions, refer your business, or just learn more?
Well, you can call me on my cell, 801-807-9190. I've got my Facebook page. Right now, sadly, it says Devi Cooper-Nielsen Homes, because Facebook is worried about their, some stuff before they can change my name, which is cool though, because I still love Nielsen. And we're easy to reach.
And your website is DeviGloryHole.com. So go ahead.
No, I don't need that kind of publicity. Not that one.
All right, cool.
You're the wrong type of clients, Colton.
Hey, it's your marketing, not mine. I'm just here for the ride, just to learn. Cool, awesome. I appreciate you hopping on, Debbie. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you later.
Awesome, thanks. See ya. Bye.
I think that was a really cool interview. Hold on, I'm still live, so before you guys come up with the jokes, let's just hang
I just want to say that was a great interview, dude.
Oh, hey, thanks. Jared just wanted to say that was a great interview. So if you don't know Jared, he's on our sales team. Get to know JNut1982. Unfortunately, you cannot connect with him on AOL anymore since AOL Instant Messenger went away. Rest in peace, AOL Instant Messenger. How many of you guys remember that? Put a yes in the comments. So I think a couple of takeaways from this new construction interview is, number one, is the dance is different. The dance of working with a new construction agent is way different than just working existing, right? It's an 8-month process if you're working on that new build side. I think one of the other things is that kind of existing agents need new construction agents right now. If you've got buyers that don't have a home for because inventory is low, your number one job, I believe, for existing is go find a new listing, go find a new existing listing. But when you have that customer, I can't tell you, in the last year we've had way more customers want to go build new builds than ever before because there is no inventory, the demand is high. So who are you going to go work with? Are you going to go work with someone like Debbie that you know can walk you through the process, or are you going to try and figure it out as you go, right? So I recommend you get someone like that on your site here. And then the other thing is just to realize that we're in this together. There's more than enough business for everyone if you choose to work together, right? It's not necessarily the existing agent versus the new build agent. It's like, how can we work together and make a win-win for a new construction company and for a buyer? But at the same time, realize, and I love that she pointed this out there, because so few new construction agents will do this. In fact, a lot of new construction agents will try to cut the existing agent out and say you'll save money by working with us directly. But she was so clear, and I applaud her, and I applaud Henry Walker Homes for talking about this, that she represents the builder. She represents Henry Walker Homes. So if you're a consumer looking to buy a new build, get representation that is going to help you to make sure you're not making a goof along the way. Because as much as Devi's going to make it as easy as possible, she still represents the builder, and she's still going to work to put as much money in the builder's pocket as possible. So remember that. Appreciate you guys being on here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the WGR, following and watching the WGR live. If you have any real estate questions, let me know. All realtor referrals come right here to the WGR here in Utah. Also check out the WGRacademy.com, fearlessagent.com if you want to learn more about how to take your prospecting and networking to a next level. And also if you want to learn how to create your entire real estate sales business, go to fearlessagent.com. Appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you later.